Hey English 11, Mr. Nass here. Let's take a look at Lesson 2, Unit 1, and our learning target for this lesson. The goal is to understand the background information about our author, Rupi Kaur. In this unit, we'll be reading various poems by Rupi and want you to understand a little bit about who she is, her background, why she's well known, and this lesson will give you all you need to know that. So who is Rupi Kaur? There's a picture of her. You might want to pause this video right now because I can't play the Jimmy Fallon interview in this video, but we are linking it in Schoology for you. So you might want to just pause, jump over to Schoology and watch it, and then come back and continue this video. A little bit about Rupi Kaur. Born in 1992, she is a Punjabi Canadian poet. So moved to Canada, as you would have found out in that video, when she was 4 years old. And these are some of the themes that she touches on in her poetry: sexual trauma and abuse, breakups, being a woman, being an immigrant, let me move myself, mental health, self-care, and feminism from a first-generation immigrant perspective. Now, Rupi has become very famous via her Instagram account, and one of her quotes says, "They came for a photo, but they stayed for the poetry." As you can see, there's been some controversy with things that she has posted being censored. Her response to that, if you take a look from the screenshot from her Instagram account, and then also from some of her posts in response to being censored on that platform. She has a self-published first book called Milk and Honey. After she published that, she was picked up by publisher Andrews McMeel. She has the best-selling adult book. And some of the other books that she's published are called Homebody, The Sun and Her Flowers, and then, as was mentioned, Milk and Honey. So, as a poet, she's been both criticized and praised for her simplistic style. You'll see a few examples of her poems in just a moment, what they look like, some of the things they include. She's an Insta poet, so becoming well-known on Instagram is very different from what's typical with poets, or has been typical with poets over time. And so that's brought her some criticism, but also some people who appreciate her unique rise to fame. She's accessible and informal in her language and in her writing. But, of course, if you do things differently, you're often critiqued. And she has been critiqued by other poets because of social media being her main platform, at least where she began, and where she shares a lot of her work, and also because of her style. I'm not going to read these poems at the moment, but you can get an idea a little bit of what her style looks like and the types of format she uses for her poetry. Very simple. You have illustrations and short, simple poetry. I'll move myself so you can see those. I won't read this entire quote for you, but if you notice back on this slide, that all the letters in all of her poems are lowercase. She doesn't use capital letters. So she doesn't follow that those grammar rules. Like up here, we have the letter I not capitalized. Typically in a poem, everything over here on the left would begin with a capital letter. She doesn't do that. So she explains why she doesn't do that, and that comes from her first language, from her mother tongue, which is Punjabi. And in that language, which is not written with the same letters that we use, there are no uppercase and lowercase letters. And she believes that that kind of gives all the letters the same significance, and you have no distinction, and she likes the visual representation of equality between the letters in the way that she writes. So all of her choices as a poet and as a writer are very, they're purposeful, including not using capital letters. So let's talk a little about what you will do in this lesson. You must do this table, which is on Schoology, which is answering these questions about Rupi Kaur, and you can use the information that was shared with you in the video that was linked, or the things that I talk about in this video, or you can look things up online as long as you put the source link over here and where you found that information. If you found it from this video and from what I shared from this presentation, please note that in the source link column. If you look it up, just copy and paste the source where you find it. Then your should do is to check out her Instagram account. It's linked on Schoology. You can look at what her account looks like and answer these couple of questions. What do you notice about her page? And then also a little bit of analysis. Why do you think her Instagram is so popular versus this list of authors down here, which are also very popular authors, but with nowhere near as many followers as she has on Instagram? Finally, the aspire to do is to watch this PBS video about an 8-minute video documentary style about her, and then respond to the prompts on Schoology. So, just to review, must do, share the essential information about her. Should do, check out her Instagram and answer those questions. And aspire to do would be to watch the video and complete the response on Schoology. So that's the end of lesson 2. Hope you enjoy learning more about Rupi Kaur, who she is, as we jump into analyzing and reading her poetry. Have a great day.